Hey everyone, today's video is actually a continuation of my previous video on mana, but I'm going to expand its sort of lore as to referring to it as life force energy in general. Mana is just what happens to be the Maori, Polynesian, Hawaiian conception of this energy, but as we've sort of discussed, and as many of you have said in the comments, life force energy, it's sort of this etheric term that's referred to in many cultures. Of course, the Hindus call it prana, the Chinese call it chi, the Japanese call it ki, but also other cultures such as the Germanic Viking culture, they call it vril. In the Greek cultures, sometimes it's referred to as thumos, that masculine spiritual energy. And so in this video I actually want to go into more depth about what it feels like to produce and cultivate life force energy, and what habits, a couple habits you can instill that would help you actually produce more. One of the reasons that people get different levels of superpowers from the no-fap lifestyle is because they have various degrees of production of this energy. And a factor that we can't control that produces this energy is just our age. A man's sexual peak in terms of producing this energy is about 18. So people who around that age, if you were to find the no-fap discipline around that age, it would be like a magnitude of 10 times higher than someone at my age at 25. Not to say that it isn't incredibly potent for people who are older. Absolutely, it still is incredibly potent, and it can bring you tremendous power and benefit at any age. But age is a factor. That affects how much life force energy you produce. You just produce more in a shorter amount of time. But in this video, let's go over some more characteristics that define producing and cultivating this energy, and some habits that you can instill and practice so that you can maximize your production of it. So I'm once again reading from the Hunaway, and I'm just going to refer to these passages because they talk about what it feels like to be full of this energy. The energy behind all life is a potential source of incredible power, yet it has been ignored by conservative Western scientists, although discovered time and time again by those more daring and open-minded. Mana is the energy that gives you life, your life force. The Huna theory is that all these life processes are made possible by continuous movement of mana through and around the body. A very good analogy is that mana flowing through the body is like an electrical current, and mana flowing around the body is like a magnetic field. When your mana is strong and clear, you are at the peak of physical health. You have abundant energy and strength, and you can remain calm or enthusiastic under trying conditions. You can think clearly and effectively, you have great confidence and compassion, you feel happy, and your physical and psychic abilities are more efficient. When your flow is low and constricted, you will be in poor health, you will feel weak and tired, you will be irritable and anxious under trying conditions, your thinking will be muddled, and you will have a lack of confidence and little empathy. You will generally be very unhappy, and your abilities will be hard to express. I love that last line, the expression line, because it is so much easier for me to just express. I can do anything, and I don't have to really think too hard about what my expression is coming across. I can allow myself to be as weird as I am, or as suave as I am, whatever is within me. That expression is one of the first things that you notice. You have that ability to express what is within you. Another passage that I really love from this book. All Huna practices use mana as the energy to power them. In telepathy, for instance, the more mana you put into a projected thought, the better chance it will have of reaching its target, and the clearer it will be. Energy is not the same as desire or will. It is simply the amount of life force available. In very practical terms, mana is directly related to emotion. The greater the inner excitement, the greater the supply of mana, and the more effective the practices will be. Mana, the energy of creation, is also the power of authority, which refers to the unquestioning belief in one's ability to make right something that happened or to be accepted. To make it simple, we can say that mana is the power of belief and the power to create. Even more simply, we can think of it as pure energy. The primary causes of resistance are doubt and fear. If you increase the amount of mana, which is equivalent to increasing the voltage, you strengthen the current to the point where it can flow right through the resistance. This is sort of like a law of attraction concept where resistance means you have a desire, but you're sort of pushing against the desire with your fear and doubt about it ever coming true. And I found that coming onto this path has really allowed me to not let go of my fear and doubt because I still have it, but rather like overpower it with this electrical current. Let me give you a quick example. I used to be really self-conscious and ashamed of my moles. Like I have these three, I don't know if you can see them with this focus, but I have three, like I have like a constellation on my face of 3 moles. And I used to really worry that it would completely undermine my desire and my need to become a screen actor because I've rationalized that it would take focus away from my eyes and onto like these imperfections on my face. And looking back on that worry of mine, I feel like that's so stupid. Like, if you have the ability to express, then that just comes out regardless of how your physical body manifests. You know, when your flow of mana is clear and strong, you're so cogent in your ability to communicate, your ability to express, and the ability to really crush resistances. Crush your fear and doubt. Here are just 4 habits that you can cultivate to actually produce more of this life force energy regardless of the age that you're at. The first is to focus on your food when you're eating. I have been enormously guilty of doing the opposite, where food is just a means to an end. Food is a means to satiety so I can get back to work. So I would often eat while watching TV, eat while watching YouTube videos on my computer, eat while reading a book, which is terrible. You should really treat your food with a sense of reverence, regardless of whatever your diet is. You know, I'm not a pure vegan, I'm just simply vegetarian, so I still have dairy and some amount of eggs in my diet. But now I've made it a point that when I'm eating, I'm sort of treating that food with reverence, because this is what is powering me up. And so when you give focus to your food, when you really contemplate it and you're mindful of it when you're eating, you have a greater sense of just energy that you extract and absorb from it. It's actually been scientifically proven that people who eat mindfully have a better time digesting their food and a better time absorbing the nutrients. And that is a very, very good way to increase your mana, increase your life force energy. What matters most is your state when you're eating your food and your source of attention when you're eating that food. So that's the first habit that you can instill to produce more life force energy. The second habit is deep breathing. In modern society, it's very common just to simply have shallow breath. And this is really kind of a troublesome thing because we can go days without eating, but we can't go very long at all without breathing. We have to breathe, and oxygenating yourself is a source of life, is a source of producing life force energy. So especially when your stomach is empty, if you do intermittent fasting like I do, you can really, while working, kind of have like a breath and witness. Be aware of your breath and breathe deeply as you go about your day, go about your business, go about your work. It will bring concentration to your work at hand rather than distracting from it, and it will allow you to produce more life force energy. The third principle is your attitude. Your attitude has an amazing effect on like the cells of your body even. This is something that Swami Sivananda said in his book Thought Power. He said that our cells are directly affected by our attitude. If you're feeling really pissy, if you're feeling really annoyed, frustrated, in deep despair, ask yourself, what can I do to feel better? I mean, it is not a waste of your time to invest in activities that are wholesome, that can make you feel better. It is a tremendously productive use of your time. And if you're like, well, I can't do that because I'm inundated with work, maybe what you need to do is just go for a quick walk, watch like a really funny video on YouTube, and get your mindset a little higher, because the higher your mindset, the better the law of attraction will work for you, and the faster, the more ease of results you'll find in your life. And if you're feeling really stressed out, really unquestioningly stuck, rigid, it doesn't matter how hard you'll work, you'll have so much resistance that you'll be pushing up against. So a very fantastic way to improve your flow of mana is to change your negative attitudes into positive ones, and you can use artificial means to make this happen. You know, sometimes I just like to watch funny videos. Or another thing I like to do is, if I'm feeling really ungrateful, I like to look at pictures of people in rickshaws, like rickshaw cart drivers in India, and think to myself that some people's whole life is this, so I need to change my perspective, change my framing, and realize how amazing I have it, and honor how good I have it by being happier. And the last thing you can do to increase your flow of mana, increase your force of life force energy, is to give commands to your subconscious by visualization. Your subconscious and your superconscious is impressed by images in your mind. You know, the mental pictures that you hold in your mind can give dramatically different results. One thing I've started doing is not only writing out my overarching goals, but also visualizing the goals I want to accomplish for this day. It's one of the reasons why I'm able to put out more YouTube videos, because I see myself actually making and editing a video and putting it out. And it's helping me produce more with less effort, because I'm sort of priming my brain to actually go about producing the results. And when you visualize actions you could be taking, results that you could be bringing into your world, it also affects the third principle, your attitude, because you affect your locus of control. You know, you affect the part of your brain that says, I don't know what I can do to change my life. Well, you're visualizing a different result. So it's like telling your subconscious and superconscious mind, I'm in control. I can do things to get certain results. And that's a very, very empowered state to be in. So in essence, you know, this mentioning of life force energy, it's in so many cultures, and actually one of my objectives with these next several videos over the next month or so is to go over different cultures. I really want to get into Viking mythology in an upcoming video as well, because I think it's absolutely fascinating. And it's like there's this metaphor that we're all blind and we're all touching an elephant, and everyone thinks that their understanding of an elephant is exactly right. You know, someone's touching the tail, someone's touching the trunk, and they're describing what it feels like. But the thing is, we're all grasping at a similar truth, and that's why I like exploring the understandings from different cultures, because you can see the similarities, and when you see those similarities, it's very invigorating. But one of the greatest indicators, are you full of life force energy? Ask yourself this: do you have this feeling like tomorrow is Christmas? Like no matter what day it is, it feels like tomorrow is gonna be an amazing day? I do. I feel like always around the corner something awesome is coming. It's why my moniker on this channel is greatness is coming for all of us on this journey, because I can just feel it from within me. Greatness is coming for all of us on this journey, and especially to those of us who are willing to embody the habits to produce and cultivate this etheric life force energy. Cheers guys, I will see you very soon, and thank you so much for watching.